and my friend Sir Charles Jones. This is for the grown, this is for the grown and sexy. This is for the grown and sexy and sexy. This is for the grown and sexy. This is for the grown and sexy. Sexy mama in the club tonight. Come on, let me watch you get down. Sexy mama in the club tonight. Let me watch that thing go round. Sexy mama in the club tonight. Come on, let me watch you get down. Sexy mama in the club tonight. Let me watch that thing go round. Go. Ain't no party like a GNS party, cause a GNS party don't stop. Ain't no party like a GNS party when the ladies make the thing go pop. Ain't no party like a GNS party, cause a GNS party don't stop. Ain't no party like a GNS party when the ladies make the thing go pop. This is for the grown, this is for the grown and sexy. Grown and sexy. For the grown and sexy and sexy. This is for the grown and sexy. Like fire. For the grown and sexy.
Ladies' night out. Oh, just have yourself a good time. Ladies, it's your night. Now it's the ladies' night out. It's the ladies' night out. If you know you run this house, say yeah. Come on, baby. If you know you came to party. Sitting in your seat, looking sexy. I see ya. Standing at the bar, looking good. Oh, Hollywood ready. From head to toe, they came to party. Let everybody know. Get your drink on and chill. Are you ready? Get your smoke on and dance the night away. Are you ready? Let everybody know. The ladies' night out. Let's head to the club. It's the ladies' night out. It's the ladies' night out. If you know you run this house, say yeah. Say yeah. If you know you came to party, know you came to party. It's the ladies' night out. Now it's the ladies' night out. It's the ladies' night out. If you know you run this house, say yeah. If you know you came to party, come on. Cause it's the ladies' night out. It's the ladies' night out. I see Miss Keisha, she's on the floor. I don't know what she's going through, but she's ready to go. Let's go. Oh, Lady Princess and Crystal ready to pop it. They got their drinks in their hands. I hope they don't drop it. No, I see Danielle hanging at the bar with Ashley, Mama Rose, and Sam trying to drink it all. Michelle on the floor doing that down south dance. Some of my cousins and nieces trying to find a man. Oh, it's the ladies' night out. It's the ladies' night out. If you know you run this house, say yeah. Say yeah. If you know you came to party, you know you came to party. Cause it's the ladies' night out. Now it's the ladies' night out. If you know you run this house, say yeah. If you know you came to party, cause it's the ladies' night out. It's the ladies' night out. Everybody give up. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Everybody get up. Go, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Now it's the ladies' night out. It's the ladies' night out. If you know you run this house, say yeah. in South Carolina, yeah. Chicago, the latest night out. Oh, can't forget Nebraska. LA.
We're different, and we like it that way. That's because we've got the heat. Right here on WKSH 97.7 FM, The Heat.
It's nothing wrong with a good old ride. You can't even slip and slide. I'm more than you can handle. Now don't fall off. Just stay in my saddle. Just stay in my saddle. I'm built and well to please. Not any cowboy down to his knees. Don't try to pin me up. If you do, I'm gonna buck. I have my picks of who I want. I'll let you know by the way I stomp. It's nothing wrong with a good old ride. You can't even slip and slide. I'm more than you can handle. Now don't fall off. Just stay in my saddle. Just stay in my saddle. Treat me like a special lady. For as long as I live, I'll be your baby. I like it when you put your spurs in me. Make my body hot, I go crazy. Now hold on tight, my gate is long. Hold your position, hold your position. It's nothing wrong with a good old ride. You can't even slip and slide. I'm more than you can handle. Now don't fall off. Just stay in my saddle. 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 Louisiana. You got your horseshoes on. Well, what about Texas? You got your horseshoes on. Or Mississippi. You got your horseshoes on. Arkansas. You got your horseshoes on. Oh, what about Alabama? You got your horseshoes on. Georgia. You got your horseshoes on. You got your horseshoes on. Ooh, you got your horseshoes on. You got your
All right, y'all. I got something here for you now. I want everybody to get in on it. that meant the whole world to me. But she left me for someone else, left my heart in misery. That's when I found out the blues would always be a part of me. Let me tell you this. You see, when she left me, she gave me the blues. That was the last thing I thought I could use. But now I'm glad she left me. I'm glad she gave me the blues. You see, I went out and found me. I went out and found me someone new. That's why I can say this tonight. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. Oh, hey, hey, the blues is all right. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. It's all right. It's all right. Every day and night. Let's testify. Say it again, y'all. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. 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 It's all right. It's all right. Every day and night. I'm gonna play it for you now. I'm glad she left me. I'm glad she gave me the blues. You see, I'm grateful to the blues. It was the blues that brought me to you. Yeah. You see, if she had never given me the blues, I never would have found someone sweet like you. That's why I can say it, y'all. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. Oh, hey, hey, the blues is all right. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. It's all right. It's all right. Every day and night. I just gotta say it again. Y'all help me testify. Hey, the blues is all right. Say it. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. Oh, hey, hey, the blues is all right. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. It's all right. It's all right. Every day and night. Do it again. Say it. Hey, hey, the blues is all right. You said, hey, hey, the blues is all right. Oh, hey, hey, the blues is all right.
Issues That Matter with Calvin Lester and Stephen Jackson on WKSH 97.7 The Heat.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Thursday, November 14th. I think today is 14th. Yes, it is.
Best thing to do.
And we're here to Issues That Matter. I'm Calvin Lester. Stephen Jackson is in Baton Rouge fighting the good fight for us. No matter what the influencers think, it's a lot of stuff going on. And I think he may be calling in a little bit to talk to us about that. But before we get started, we always take a moment to thank Brother Johnny Antoine for giving us this opening and this portal for us to talk about those things that are important. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on that's important to our community from an economic development standpoint, from an industry standpoint. And, we got to talk about it. So we have this platform. We don't take it for granted. And so we ask for you, the listening audience, if you hear about what's going on, if you hear us, you see Issues That Matter come across your social media screen, or you hear Issues That Matter come across your timeline, you hear 97.7 Heat come across, give us a like, give us a share, hit the button, and we would so much appreciate you giving us the information and sharing it, because we live in a time where we don't control a lot of media, but that media that we do control, it's critical that we share things and let people know what's going on. So, Johnny, thank you for giving us this opportunity, and we are moving forward with it. So, with that being said, I just want to get right into it. Just a couple of things. You know, I am, I don't know about anybody else. I am coming out of my self-imposed hibernation for the news because, you know, I'm was very disappointed. I'm not gonna say traumatized, but I was very disappointed at the outcome of the election. So I've taken a kind of hiatus from the news and different people assuming different things and all these quote unquote thought pieces and these folks that have all these great ideas about why we were not successful, but wasn't helping Sister Kamala trying to win. And so we are where we are right now, and we got to deal with what we got to deal with. So that's kind of what's going on with that. But I will tell you that we are ready, and you know, we're gonna keep moving in the direction that we need to move. But I will say this: one of the things that I've learned from the whole Trump scenario, right, is they support their guy. And Johnny, I'm gonna tell you, our community would be so much further if we supported folks that support us the way that they do that guy. You can't tell them folks nothing about Donald Trump. He did this, yeah, he did. He did that, yeah, he did. But I'm still supporting him. You know. Oh, we got a caller? No. Okay, not yet. They'll say, well, you know, Calvin cut the line in 5th grade at Eden Gardens, and we don't need to support him no more. Oh, I told you that Negro was blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, Johnny, when he was at Booker T. Washington, he blew a bad note. I told you that Negro wasn't blah, blah, blah. I can't support him. We need leaders that are better than that, right? We got a felon for a president. We got a guy who, by all accounts, was getting ready to get charges from being, you know, a step away from being a convicted pedophile that's going to be attorney general. You got people that served, and I'm not saying anything about the National Guard because I've not done that. But you got people who, you know, may have had 10 minutes of military service, never gone outside the country, talking about being Secretary of Defense. You know, it's gonna be an interesting time, and we gotta hunker down and deal with it and you know, kind of make some things happen. So we just have to learn that, hey, we gotta support our own. We gotta do what we need to do, and that's kind of what that needs to be. So I think we're gonna have a caller in just a minute that's gonna talk to us about some of the things that's happening in the state of Louisiana. So we'll see where that goes. But a lot of people have been watching with much interest what's happening in the legislature. As many of you know, Governor Landry called a special session about a week ago, right after the election, to deal with what he believes is a problem with Louisiana's tax code. And because he won the election and he is a governor, he has the right to call the legislature into session and advance what he believes his ideas are. And, you know, we got to just decide if his ideas are ideas that we want to support. There's tremendous amount of support for him as a governor, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be dealt with. And so the legislature right now today is in session. One of the things among many proposals is dealing with the film tax credit. And there's some conversation about, do we keep it? Do we amend it? Do we change it? And so that's kind of been what a lot of people here in town have been concerned about and watching, and kind of, I've seen text messages fly. I've seen screenshots fly about who did what and why. And I don't think a lot of people understand what the process is. What people need to know that you know, you have your own, you have your own, you have your own responsibility, right? And you have to take care of your interests, and that's kind of where we are. And Louisiana has a House and a Senate. Both groups have to touch all legislation. Not one vote is not going to be the end. It's not like the city council or school board where you put something before the school board and they vote and that's the end of it. You have to put something out and the House votes for it, then the Senate has to vote for it, and then they have to agree. So it's a whole process that has to go on. And so as I appreciated, the process has just begun.
That's what I'm reading right now, Calvin.
Yeah, the process
It says the House of Representatives had voted Tuesday to eliminate the state $150 million tax incentive for film and TV production as part of the board package of measuring to reduce the state income tax.
So
that Landry was talking about.
Right.
Was talking about, you know, they got companies that's profiting off of, and they getting, you know, tax breaks.
Right. I don't necessarily agree with him.
I don't either. But he went that the House already voted and said the $150 million off the table. So whatever they're trying to conquer together to come up with, you know, fixing that. But I was just stating, I know they had got rid of the tax credit.
So it's not over with, Johnny.
It's not over with, but
No. Let me show
$150, the $150 million.
It's not the end. The governor proposed. Listen,
that's the trick.
No. Let me explain. Hold on one second. Let's go to a quick break. Hold on a second, because we got a call. Hello.
That's a trick.
Call a number. Call now, because we're looking at it now. Call us now. All right. He's trying to call in now. So let me tell you how it goes. All right. The governor sets a call. Hello? Caller?
Steve.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we have with the state representative, Steve.
It must be on your end because we don't have any.
We're clear on this end.
We clear.
Okay.
All right.
I'm trying to work through it.
Okay, we're going to work through it. So listen, what I was saying, Johnny, is this is how the process goes. Any bill that deals with taxes has to start in the House by Constitution.
Right.
So an idea is brought, right? We're going to have a discussion. The House votes one way or the other, and then it goes to the Senate. Okay? What the House did, and I'll let Representative Jackson speak to himself, but what the House did is says, okay, the governor called us down here to have a discussion about this. Let's have the discussion. Right. So we're gonna take what the governor gave us. We're gonna say the conversation starts now. We're gonna pass this and pass it over to the Senate. The vote that they took yesterday is not the law. It doesn't leave the House and go to the governor. It's not like the city council.
Let me ask you though, but if they do vote and they vote against it, it never hits the Senate, right?
No. It's gotta go to the Senate.
I don't know why. Hey, I don't know why I've come in and come through.
Go ahead, John.
Steve, you sound like you're far off. That's what you really sound like, Steve. You sound like you're far off for some reason.
Go ahead, Stephen.
You want to hang up and call? You want to hang up and call right back, Steve? Let me see, could I get a better signal? Yeah, hang up and call right back.
So the way the process goes, a bill goes to the House. It goes to the Senate, right? The Senate has the vote. There's a whole process of amendments and things that are dealt with.
Right.
Okay.
You back, Steve?
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. It's a little bit better.
We hear you good.
So listen, let's end. Go ahead. So listen, we have with us Representative Stephen Jackson, who is in the House of Representatives. So Rep Jackson, kind of give us a lay of the land of how we got to where we are and what do we really have going on right now.
I don't know where I come in and on the conversation.
You can start from the top.
Well, we're in Baton Rouge for tax reform, and this is a complicated process. Our process is complicated enough, and then when you add something complex and convoluted like into the equation, it gets even more complex. And so I assume the conversation y'all are having around the film tax credit.
Correct.
So House Bill, so let me go back. House Bill 1 deals with personal income taxes. And so we're taking a vote to lower people's personal income tax. I'm on the record as being in favor of that. I don't run from that. I believe that if you go to work, work hard, you should take as much of your money home as you earn.
Right.
Not be levying and eating up your paycheck. Particularly those people who work, and particularly those who are single with no kids and don't claim earned income tax credit, like myself. And so part of that is what we did in House Bill 1. There is a provision in House Bill 1 that talks about film tax credits and these other deductions. The problem with that is you can't look at personal income taxes because that's not where corporations file for the deduction. Corporations file their deductions or for the credit on the corporate side. That's
right.
called a corporate income tax deduction. Individuals, very seldomly will an individual file for these deductions because they're not filing for it as an individual. And so there was a whole lot of hysteria on Tuesday about a bill that we passed on Monday, which I found strange because now the hysteria is around House Bill 2. And so, it seems like there's some coordinated hysteria going on locally to make it seem that as if, we're dropping the ball in Baton Rouge. That's not the case. House Bill 2 deals with lowering the corporate income tax. And when you're talking about lowering the corporate income tax, that's your Walmart, that's your Amazon, that's your Home Depot, that's your Lowe's. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about lowering the corporate income tax. That's Exxon, big companies. And so big companies that go in and do these film productions, they prefer to claim a credit on the corporate side. That's their way to get around. That's their way to basically get a tax break. And so they will claim the credit on the corporate side. So there was a provision in the original bill to sunset or eliminate the film tax credit. Instead of eliminating it in 2031, we would eliminate the film tax credit in January 1, 2025, which is basically a couple weeks from now. We were able to get an amendment in committee that pushed that back to June 30th of 2025. So give us at least 7 months. And what the goal was is that Louisiana Economic Development would come up with a plan that would basically restructure tax credits. So what I want people to know is, one, there are no permanent tax credits in the state of Louisiana. All of these tax credits have a sunset. So at some point, these tax credits are scheduled to end. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is definite. All of them are scheduled to sunset at some point. And so our conversation is, how can we better structure the film tax credit? And so we've taken a look at that, and we've come to some agreements. We're working through compromise. I think I picked the conversation up where you were at, Calvin, is that this is a multi-step process. We have a House and we have a Senate. This is not like local government. It's not like the city council, the parish commission, or the school board, where you get one bite at the apple and it's done. The House will hear the bill, we will either pass it, we make amendments, or we will reject it. And if we pass it with amendments or whatever, it goes to the Senate, and then the Senate will basically repeat the same process on their side. I don't know if I've explained too much. If you want to,
no, you're good. You're good.
So that process has to play out in the Senate. I was not necessarily pleased with the bill that was passed yesterday. So instead of voting no on the bill, I prefer to just abstain because we have commitments right now. We have promises from the Senate. We have promises from the governor that by Sunday night or Monday morning, the language that we want will be added into the bill. I can't divulge the details of the amendment, but I've seen them emotional and upset about something. And I think the people who call themselves social media influencers or neighborhood influencers, I think they need to hold themselves to a higher responsibility that when you're sharing information, you need to make sure you're sharing factual information.
I want to ask Steve. So Steve, so the $150 million tax credit they have for TV and film is still in place.
Yeah, that tax credit is still in place. Nothing about that tax credit has ended.
So
nothing about it has been reduced. It's $150 million.
I think a lot of people were.
And let me be clear. The legislature at any point can come back and say, we don't want to do this anymore. These are discretionary programs. These are statutory programs. These are not constitutionally protected programs. These are statutory programs. So when Hurricane Katrina happened, a lot of this stuff got wiped out because the state said we don't have the money. We're in a deep recession. We don't have the money. So a lot of this stuff got wiped out. And so at any moment we can come and make these changes.
So, because the reason why I was asking is because how does that help us to be competitive with other states that have tax credits that where people like 50 or anybody that's in town, if they want to go to another state now because it look like we're trying to eliminate the tax credit, how does that help Louisiana when this man has come forward and said he want to sink so much money into the city?
Well, let's keep it 100. The companies are going to go where they feel they can get the best deal. And
right.
That's no secret.
I agree.
That's no secret. They're going to go where they feel they can get the best deal. But what I take issue with is when people have sat down and looked you in the face and said, you got a deal, and tell us what you need, we're going to get it to you. What is your panic at this point? Why are you panicking? People have come and said, we're working on amendments. We're working to fix this. What is the panic? Again, I think there has to be some level of trust in the people that you send to Baton Rouge and the people that you send to downtown. If you're not going to trust us, stop sending us. Y'all come do it. You come do it.
I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that's the answer, Steve. The answer is that if that wasn't out there before this man came here, all of a sudden it come up that now we want to change the tax credit. But you don't think that has effect
Johnny,
on businessmen?
Johnny, hold on for a second.
All right, let's be clear. Again, nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Wait, Johnny, 50 cents. 50 cents. You're talking about 50 cents. 50 cents.
I'm talking about even local. I'm talking about even local for film.
Right.
Because I'm in that category.
Right.
I'm in that category here at the studio. We're in the same category, production.
Right. Everybody take a break for a second. Go ahead, Steve.
But wait a minute. But just what proposal have you sent to say, hey, I want to claim my credit? What proposal have you sent?
We have Beyond Galilee. I can go on and on.
No.
It's the stuff that we have done.
Hold on a second. Everybody, take a breath.
It's all right, Calvin. It's a discussion. It's a discussion.
We
need to discuss.
I don't have a problem
we
with
need
discussion.
to discuss that. We need to discuss that.
Here's what I
because
want to do.
We don't take it lightly because we are the industry.
Understand. And for the record,
Have a proposal on the table. You don't have nothing on the table.
here's what, Stephen. Here's where I am. Hold on, guys. Hold on a second. Here's what I want to say. Number one, let's walk this out. The legislature is not dealing with the tax credits because it was their idea. The governor who won decided that he wanted to change the math. Okay, so the real conversation is, why does Jeff Landry want to change the math?
That's really what I'm getting
number
at.
one, Jeff Landry won. Jeff Landry as the governor, he's the governor. He can change the math. That's number one. All right. Number two, as it stands now, Jeff Landry can propose things. He can put a package together, right? He can have his legislative floor leaders advocate for a position, but until it votes from the House to the Senate, back to the House, and everybody agrees, this is not going to happen.
Do we have the numbers, Calvin?
No, not right now.
Do Jeff Landry have the numbers to where he can do that?
He does, bruh. He doesn't have the numbers. That's why they're talking. Okay. What happened is you've heard on Washington D.C. They talk about, well, we want to, when they talk about funding. when you talk about doing things at the federal level, you've heard them say, well, I want to put some amendments, and you'll hear people say, no, we're not going to do it. We want a clean bill.
Mm-hmm.
What they did yesterday was they said, listen, we know a lot of you have issues with this. There are people who have issues with the film tax credit, not just in Shreveport, but in small parishes and in urban areas that got issues. There are people that have issues with the low income housing tax credits that do affordable housing. There are people that have issues with the tax credit.
We don't have a state low income housing tax credit.
Okay.
We don't even have one.
There are folks that have issues with the historic tax credits that they use to fix buildings downtown, right?
Yeah.
So what they said was, look, we know all of y'all have a bunch of amendments that we want to put on. Here's what I ask you to do. Don't put any of the amendments on at this point. We're going to pass a clean bill from the House to the Senate.
Okay.
We've heard what you said. What we're asking you to do, House, is pass this bill to the Senate. The Senate is going to take up a lot of those amendments. And if you don't like how it comes back, then you can add your own amendments. What the House did was say, you know what? We've talked to the governor. We've talked to the speaker. They said that they're at some point our amendments are going to be given a chance to be heard. We're going to trust you that you're going to put them on in the Senate. At the end of the day, let's say for the sake of argument, let's go way to the left. Let's say the Senate says, you know what? I want to do part of these and I don't want to do some of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to pass a bill. That bill is going to come to the House. The House can reject it.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We start all over. But the process got us. Okay.
You don't start over.
Well, you got to come up with a bill. But the point that I'm making is this.
Hold on, guys.
Okay.
Reject the bill, and then we go to what's called a conference committee.
Well,
You don't start over.
when
You
I
go to
say
a
conference,
committee
go ahead. The point.
Go to the conference committee, and the differences between the House and the Senate get worked out at that point.
And then
That
there's
is the
still another vote.
legislative process.
The point, and I'm not down there. The point that I'm making, Johnny, is this: what they did yesterday was start the process. House, Senate, amendments, back to the House. If they don't agree, they got to concur. If they don't concur, they either gonna vote it up or vote it down. Now, if we're talking about a vote that's on final passage after it's been passed the House and it's on the Senate, that's a different scenario. All they did was start the process of making the law. And it started not because the House wanted to do it themselves. The call to bring the legislature back into a session that's special is a sole province of the governor. Jeff Landry started this. The end. He won. He got the government. He's got his guys. He wants to do this. The responsibility of our representatives is to say, we don't like it this way. We want you to deal with these issues. What they did this week was say, Mr. Governor, we told you what our issues are. We can amend this process. But here's how that goes. The House puts on amendments and they're voted. Then the Senate can take all of those amendments and throw them in the trash and do their own. It seems to me that what they're trying to do is say, okay, we're going to pass a clean bill and we're going to start with the Senate. That moderates a whole lot of stuff. We're going to send you back a bill. And then if y'all like it, you can deal with it or not. But there are at least 2 or 3 votes on each side that have to be taken. It's not over. I'm excited as a political scientist, as a community person, as a former elected official, that people are watching. I think it's great. Please watch the process.
I just
but
I just remember when Bobby Jindal was in office, and we had the movies here, and we were working. They eliminated the tax credit, and then all the movie companies moved to Atlanta.
No, they
and a couple other places.
They didn't eliminate the tax credit. What happened was Louisiana's tax credit was 25%.
Right.
Georgia passed 30%. That's why the movie industry left. And you sitting across from the table. Jet.
I'm gonna research that, but I kind of remember that.
And listen,
It never
never went away. Somebody gave a better credit. They gave a better credit. They gave 5 more percent.
I'll take that.
And let me tell you something else. You're sitting across the table from the person who wrote the film tax credit rebate for the city of Shreveport. I did that myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the legislation that says, you know what? The state has a film tax credit. We're going to rebate the sales taxes for the city of Shreveport so Shreveport can be more. I did that my blank self. So I know what I'm talking about, okay?
Okay.
What I'm telling you is, unlike the city council, unlike the school board, unlike the parish commission, where it's 12 people, 7 people, 12 people, you vote one time and that's it. In the legislature, it's a completely different animal. You start on this by constitutional law. Anything that deals with taxes must start on the lower chamber because that's where the people are, right? That's where it is. And if anybody was watching, which is funny to me, a lot of people on social media commenting, but they wasn't watching the debate because you had Democrats, Republicans, urban, rural come up and say, hey, I'm Mr. Governor, I'm gonna give you a chance to pass it to the Senate, but I'm telling you now, I got a problem with this. And it was a whole lot of folks that didn't look like us that represent small parishes that have changed their downtowns, that have movie studios, and they say, hey, I'm not with getting rid of this.
Right.
Okay? But they said, Mr. Governor, we looked you in the face and you said, pass this to the Senate. The Senate's gonna do amendments. I'm gonna hear what you got to say. So I'm giving you, Mr. Governor, the benefit of the doubt. But understand this. I'm saying this on the record for everybody that's watching. My parish does a whole lot of movie studio, and I ain't about to see that leave.
I hope so.
But Johnny, here's the
I
thing.
hope so.
A lot of our folks were commenting on the end. They really wasn't white. Because look, all you gotta do is go to LouisianaLegislature.com. Okay, it's in the end. Go to and you can watch the actual video live of them having a debate. And when Stephen spoke, Representative Jackson spoke, there was about 10 or 12 state reps, black, white, and otherwise, saying the same thing. You know, so yeah, that's where we at. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a process. The process is just starting. Do people need to pay attention? Yes. And at some point, I imagine that as it comes back to the House, I expect Representative Jackson to tell us, hey, if there are some state reps who need to be called to support what we do, we need to advocate for that.
Right.
But right now, everybody just chill.
We sorry, Steve. We took over your interview, man. We
The
apologize.
process just started. I'm
I'm
sorry.
just trying to figure out what I'm here doing.
But go ahead.
We're sorry, man.
Yeah.
It is your
I ain't heard no
interview.
question.
It is your interview.
Yes. But I'm sorry. I just
What you
I
gotta
just
say,
need to give
Steve?
that
What
back.
you gotta
Go
say?
ahead, Jackson. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. I ain't heard no question. I'm just listening.
Well, the question to you is, if you were to tell folks in Shreveport anything, what would you tell them about where we are in the process right now?
The bill is in the Senate. Is in Revenue and Fiscal Affairs. As I said on the news last night, those amendments are going to come back. The amendment that we agreed to is going to come back onto that bill. What's going to be put into that bill on the Senate side. And the Senate, my frustration yesterday was I got elected to do a job, and I feel like if we have good ideas in the House, we need to put them on in the House. I don't know all this about a clean bill, all that. That ain't, because we did make amendments to that bill, so the bill is not clean, all right? There were amendments made to the bill, all right? They didn't want to put those amendments on. And there were other amendments that they wanted to put on, you're right. So we picked and chose what amendments we would put on. I don't know why. And that's the frustration that I had. And so that's why I did not vote. I chose to I'll take a walk or abstain. I abstained on the bill. And I think that's fair because I'm not going to vote for something because I don't think the optics are good to vote on something that doesn't include my ideas. The bills that incorporated my ideas, I was able to vote for. So I'm not going to vote for something that does not include my ideas. What I will also say to the people back at home who are watching this process is that, you know, we have a responsibility to share factual information. This notion that we're just going to spread some, take some, and put it out. Somebody put out the Senate voted to kill it. The bill hadn't even been heard in the Senate yet. And so that's the kind of misinformation that gets put out there. I also have it on good authority whether this bill passes or not. There's a special package that they're putting together for 50 cents by itself. So whether this bill passes or not, 50 cents is good for those folks who are worried about 50 cents.
I think it's Steve. I think it's really a lot of people like studios around here and also production houses around here. They depend on that money for the breaks because they do take advantage of it, and we took advantage of it for a long period of time. But like I said, man, when we start hearing that all over again, it's like, okay, why they choosing to mess with that?
Well, let me speak to that. Jeff Landry on October 1st, on October 1, and he was doing a special session.
Right.
There's not been a single person that has reached out to my office or to Rep. George's office or Phil's office or to Lee's office until the last 2 days to talk about this. We could have had an amendment prepared on October 3rd. Nobody said anything until we got down here. And that's what we need to get better at doing is saying things. When we get down here, we're in the thick of it. This process is moving at that point. And we do the best that we can to advocate. And the real challenge is we're down here, y'all are up there. And so you don't know every process that's going on. And so that's why it helps to have the communication before on the front end of things. The first email I got from anybody remotely related to the film production industry was last Monday.
I think people need to know. I think people need to know the process of it, Steve, because a lot of this stuff we don't know the process of even trying to do any of that proposal amendment or do anything like that. We don't know. We're not educated on that end.
I agree with you, John. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that. I definitely give you the benefit of the doubt. And there was no secret that Jeff Landry was calling a session to reform tax credit. There was no secret about it. And so when we knew that, people should have started saying, hey, we need you to look out for this. When they start saying that these credits will be on the line and on the hook, people need to start talking. It was not until we started taking votes that people started saying, oh my God. And so I just happen to be on the right side of this thing because I think it's a good thing. But watch this though. Here's what else I found funny. The tax credit bill, the film tax credit bill has been up for 9 years, for the past 9 years, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Philip DeVilliers, the Speaker of the House right now, has pushed a tax credit bill to completely eliminate the film tax credit for the last 9 years. So that bill was not going to get out of the House. That bill was not, because Philip DeVilliers is the Speaker of the House. He leads the House. And it's been his proposal for the last 9 years to completely wipe out film tax credit. So we are bucking the Speaker of the House.
Mm-hmm.
We're bucking the governor.
Right.
So that's what people need to understand. But again, I get it, y'all are not down here. Y'all don't know those dynamics. So I get it. But people need to also understand that this is a process, and you have to see the process to the very end. Not just throw up your hands and say, oh, we're upset or whatever. It's because one step gets taken. I get it. It's frustrating. But there are a lot of steps that still have to take place in this process. I'm frustrated. I hope you can tell from my voice.
I can tell. I think a lot of people was in the movie because a couple of friends of mine called me about it and said, man, if it eliminate, I said, hey, man, I don't know what's going on. I've been seeing it on the news, running through it and stuff. And when they said the House had voted to move it forward or to eliminate it, I think that's what everybody read. That's what everybody was looking at.
Well,
they didn't understand the process, like you said. I didn't understand the process of it. I thought when the House bring it to the floor, I mean, you thinking everybody finna vote on it.
What I hope people would do is I hope people would trust me as the representative they elected, that I would not lie to them and steer them wrong. And so I hope people would trust me enough to be able, when I say, hey, you know, let us work through this, trust me enough. When I drop the call and say, hey, I need y'all to do this, then that's when we hit the panic button. But if I come back and say, hey, y'all, a deal is being worked out, let us work through the deal. All right, he's been with us, he's lied to us, yeah, and y'all rep, we elected him, we don't follow this. That's what it's got to be about. Because in some instances, I'm frustrated with the people in Baton Rouge, but I'm also frustrated with the people back at home because it's like, there's no trust for the people who you elected to represent you. Y'all don't trust them.
I think.
Because
Go ahead.
No, I've said on several occasions, I put it out on my social media. Hey, what y'all are seeing is not true. It's not accurate information. It's not a complete story. We're working through it. I'll put that out there. I've tried to convey it. I don't have the same bulletproof as the gun. I have somewhat of a microphone, but I put it out there. I tried to share as best as I can that we're working through this process. And people are just going to have to wait this process out. So we have a long way to go. And it's going to be a whole lot different. We've been on defense. I've been on defense since I got here last Tuesday. Okay? Last Wednesday.
Right.
We had to beat back. We had to watch this. We had to strip out a provision in one bill that would have levied a tax on the Council on Aging. We had to strip out an amendment that would have taken money out of the city of Shreveport's budget for prescription drugs. So we've been constantly having to strip out and beat back bad bills. They were about to double the taxes on diapers today. We had to strip that amendment out. So we've been constantly trying to take out things that are bad in these bills and do our best. And so we're trying to do this while also communicating with our constituents back at home, while also still trying to make a living because y'all do know we're part-time elected officials. I just want to throw that in there. So we're trying to juggle all of these things at one time. We've had to beat back some bad stuff in these bills.
Yeah, what I was going to say, and I agree with all of that. What I was going to say is this. I think, Johnny, what needs to happen, and I will give my Uncle Roy Lester, rest in peace, credit for this. My uncle said anytime you have more than two people of a different color, white, that are doing something, they have an association. Mm-hmm. And that association talks to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What we have to understand, I'm going to give Sam Jenkins credit for this. Sam Jenkins said to me, we need to understand that politics is a business.
Right.
Okay? If you have an interest in legislation, and you do, and it's more than one of y'all, the group needs to reach out to the people who have the vote and say, hey, we hear that y'all are talking about doing this. Let us talk to you about why we don't think you need to do it. Or we hear y'all about to have a conversation about this issue. We would like to see you make it better. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
What you can't do is sit on the sidelines with your arms folded and wondering what's going on. That's why they have this thing called lobbyists. That's why you have this thing called representatives. That's why you have a whole industry of people who do nothing but advocate for your interest, right? Because you can't advocate for your interest and still run the company. You got to have somebody in the room, in the committee, when they come out of the committee rooms, hey, Mr. Rep, can I speak to you? I understand that y'all talking about doing this. Let me tell you why we think that's a bad idea. Blah, 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 right? So what needs to happen is those of you who are in the entertainment industry, the film industry, the music industry, and that can need to put something together. This is what Stephen was saying in so many words, a position paper that says, Mr. Rep, Madam Rep, Mr. Senator, Madam Senator, these are our issues. We know that y'all about to talk to this. Let us tell you why we think this is a bad idea. As opposed to everybody sitting around in the room saying, well, I don't know what they're going to do. No, you have every right, Johnny, as an industry to have somebody that speaks for you. And you got to do that. Because trust me, the people that have folks talking for them, they get stuff done. And it's not a matter of sometimes having something done for you. it's stopping them from doing something to you. And that's how the process works. But again, many times our folks, our communities are not knowledgeable about those processes because we've been on the outside for so long. That's why, and this goes back to the point that Stephen's making, that's why when you do have someone that you elect that is versed in it and they're telling you, hey, I know y'all got a concern about this. I got it. Just hold tight. Let me get this together and let me give you some information. You got to ride with them at least long enough till they show that they don't have it. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where we are. We have to trust that we have communicated with Stephen and say, hey man, we don't want that. I mean, heck, all of the movie studios are in his district. What do he look like voting against his constituents?
I wouldn't think Steve would do that.
Right.
I mean, that's not my take on on Stephen.
I know it ain't your take, Steve, but I ain't talking to you. I'm talking to some of the people that's out there that was all on the Facebook and all
I heard
on
Steve
Beyonce's.
explain it. He actually put a video out and explained what was going on. I actually listened to what you said on the video, Steve.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was very informative. But the thing about it is, to me, is that a lot of people are not even getting into that.
Oh yeah. Well, they just follow.
And that's the frustration.
And it should be a frustration. Man, I don't know any lobbyists.
Right.
I don't know anybody I can say, hey, as a lobbyist, go down and do this and do that. I know Steve.
Right.
Right. Well, I think part of what we have to do again is, I don't know if it's the algorithm, if that's how Facebook has it set up, it filters out the negative. So what's negative comes to the top of your feed.
Right.
So that's just kind of where things are. And so if it's negative, if it's something that will get you stirred up, Facebook knows our emotions. They follow our clicks. They follow what we follow. So they know what's going to get us stirred up. And so they know.
Steve.
That if something,
I would like to have a town hall meeting here at the studio with you, with the people that people that may, so they can.
I plan to do something to talk with people, but it's got to be something where people have realistic expectations. Because again, this is a complex recovery. What I always find disingenuous is people expect me, who I'm in a super minority, they expect me to say the world in a super majority, and that's just not going to happen. The reality is, and I think some of y'all, I think Calvin was saying that just a moment ago, is these are people who got elected. Young Landry got elected. He didn't show up to the government. He got elected to the government.
They can see the reason why I'm just real adamant about it, because I really think they have an agenda set to do certain things. I just think they do.
Ain't no doubt about that, Johnny.
And I could just see it happening, and I can see us not being able to do anything about it based upon the numbers that he had.
And spin it back to the conversation that we had in this room in 2023, which was when you vote or you don't vote, there are consequences.
I've been pushing that, man, even since this last election, since y'all said that.
So a lot of people say, it don't matter who I vote for. Okay, well, guess what? If you are in the film industry and you stayed at home, or you in the music industry and you stayed at home, or you voted for Jeff Landry, that's what the consequence is.
Exactly. It's the same thing with Trump.
Hey.
Same thing with Trump.
To the victor go the spoils. And I appreciate what Stephen and the Black Caucus and the Democratic Caucus and all these other different caucuses are doing.
Right.
But the way Louisiana is set up, there's a reason why everybody want to be governor of Louisiana. That is the Louisiana governor has one of the most powerful governorships in the 50 states. The governor has a lot of power and a lot of authority to decide what he or she wants to do, right? And this governor has said he wanted criminal justice reform, and he called him in. He didn't get everything he wanted, he got it. He wanted to do something with the schools. He didn't get everything he wanted, he got a lot. He said he wanted to change the tax code. And this is just now. We don't know what in the world he got going for the special session in March. So we gotta talk to each other. We gotta communicate. When you hear these things coming up, what we expect folks to do is don't, just as much as you were active on Facebook and group chat, sending stuff all over the thing today, you need to channel that into advocacy and talk to your reps, talk to your senators before they go down there so they can say, Mr. Governor, I talked with my constituents and they made it clear they ain't for this. That's how it's got to work. We got to help him out. We got to help him out. Listen, Rep. Jackson, we know you got a lot of stuff going on, and y'all, you know what, the elbows down there. You got any closing thoughts for us?
No, one, I always thank John for having this community radio station. You know, we have to use these platforms that we have to educate and enlighten people, and that's what you're doing. So continue to do that. I want to encourage people to continue to follow the process. Policy and politics is not a spectator situation, but, you know, we've made it convenient. And people say they want to be at the table, but then when they get to the table, they gripe about it.
Right.
But this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what you have to do. And you're not going to win every argument. You're not going to win every situation. Compromise has to be made. We're not going to walk away with everything that we want out of these things.
Right.
And people have to understand that. And so that's what I want to encourage people is, one, stay engaged. But, you know, what I found interesting was even with 50 Cent posting his cryptic messages, in all of his messages, he never said, I'm not coming. And in both of his messages that he posted, he said, one, he said, be patient. And the second message, he said, stay positive. And you can go back and look on Instagram. He said, be patient and stay positive. And I think I usually say this all the time. We choose the route we're going to take. We're going to wake up today and choose the positive route, or we're going to wake up and choose the negative route. And a lot of us chose to take the negative route on this deal. I'm encouraging us to just what this says, be patient and stay positive. This thing is going to work itself out. I'm confident by Monday morning, the amendments that we sought to restore the tax credit are going to be restored. It's going to be fine.
Well, see, we'd like to thank you, man, for fighting.
Yes.
For down there fighting for us, man, because, you know, we got somebody really in office with you and Cleo Fields and the rest of the guys that just got in office, man. We appreciate y'all. We know y'all can do all you can for Louisiana, Shreveport, North Louisiana, period. So, man, we just appreciate you, man. We know it's hard on you down there because you're fighting a lot, and then you're a newbie, so you're trying not to mess up too many waves in the water, but you're trying to, you know, make friends. Also connect,
tough, man.
network.
We've been on defense since we got down here.
I know, man. I know for sure though. But we just want to appreciate you for doing that. And anything you can post, man, anything like that video you post, anything you can post on social media or do anything, Steve, do it. Because it woke me up too. I looked at it too. But I appreciate Calvin getting us the how it actually works with the House and the Senate and stuff like that, because a lot of times we thinking that, oh, they done voted for it, it's over with. We do think that way because a lot of times they get their way. And and that's the mindset of people. Like you said, we need to take a more positive approach to it and think totally different, because we got people fighting for us now.
All right, well, that's all I had, Stephen. Y'all be safe down there. Keep up the good fight. We appreciate you, brother. Y'all have a good evening, okay?
Appreciate you, Cal.
All right, peace.
What you eating, Steve?
All right, thanks, John.
What you eating, Steve?
He got the phone.
His jaw sound like they full right.
Amen. But listen, I'm gonna end, and I'm just gonna say, you know, we gotta be engaged in the process. We gotta share good information. We gotta be not so quick. Everybody's so quick to jump on, and you know, like they got the answer, and they don't. You know what I mean? And what's wild is it's like this the same thing, and I'm gonna end on this. You know, when they find out someone passes, right? Everybody want to be the first one to jump to Facebook. It's my sad regret to inform you, like, bruh, this just happened. Let the man's or woman's family deal with that before. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the one to post it. And a lot of times people running out there, oh well, it was nice, 50 gone. Like, bruh, there's something about this Shreveport mentality that's too many of our folks have, that we are always expecting the worst. Like we looking to lose instead of looking to win. and we can win. And I think we will. And so that's my word. Let's keep a positive mindset. And that's what we're going. And so thank you for everybody. Thank you for listening. You're listening to Issues That Matter, 97.7 The Heat, WKSH. We play what we want to play, and we say what we want to say. Have a good evening.
Issues That Matter with Calvin Lester.